With 3 magnets and some scrap wood, you can make yourself the coolest bottle opener in the long, proud history of bottle openers. It keeps the caps neat and off the floor. And how many caps are we talking about? 500? 1,000? Well, about 50, which is a lot of beer. With summer rapidly approaching, I thought it'd be fun to take a break from making large-scale furniture pieces to making something quick, easy, and fun that also makes a great gift idea, especially for the summer. We have barbecues coming up, graduates, wedding parties, because you really want to give your friends another flask. And they're also easy to batch out. You can make 5 or 6 in about the same time it takes to make 1 or 2. And if you sell your crafts, these can make a nice addition to your lineup that you could sell at a nice price point that won't scare away the customers. So get your scraps ready, let's get to it. Okay, the first thing we need to do is prepare the blanks that the magnets and the opener itself will attach to. Now there's no reason you couldn't just use a solid piece of wood, which might be a good option if you're pressed for time or maybe your tool set is a little bit limited. I prefer to use 2 different species so I can get this cool pinstripe effect going on. I think it dresses it up a bit and adds a little bit of value to it. Now, as far as measurements go, there's no need to be super precise. I'll just give you what I did, and you could use that as a jumping off point. These pieces are 8 inches long overall and 3.5 inches wide. This center piece is 2 inches. The outside pieces are 1/2 inch, and the pinstripe pieces are 1/4 inch. Nice even numbers to work with. For the thickness, I like to keep it a little bit over 5/8. 5/8 to 3/4 works really nicely. So with these narrow dimensions, I think you could see how this is a cool project to use up those skinny offcuts that have been taking up space in your shop forever. Now, as I mentioned before, you could bash these out and make a lot of these really quickly. So instead of gluing up 8-inch segments, why don't we glue up 17 or 25-inch segments? That way, when your pattern is all glued up, you joint it, you plane it, then you bring it to your chop saw or to your crosscut sled and cut them into 8-inch segments. Saves a lot of time and a lot of gluing up. All right, once your wood is flattened and planed to about 3/4 of an inch thick, it's just a matter of cutting these strips to width. I'm going to make the version with the walnut pinstripes, which means I have to cut 1/4 inch strips. To do that most safely, I'm going to use a thin rip table saw jig. Woodpecker sells a version for 170 bucks. Now, I like the people at Woodpeckers, but I like my money more, so I just picked up a generic version online for about 30 bucks. Now these jigs are really easy to set up. I just have a spacer of the thickness that I want, put it against a blade, put the jig against the spacer, tighten it down slightly, then lock it down, and I'll now have 1/4 inch strips. The only thing you have to do is after each cut, you have to move the fence each time. You'll see how that works. All right, with our strips cut to width, we just need to put them in order and we will have our blank ready for glue up and the next steps. All right, we'll give that an hour and come back to it. All right, with our blank nice and level, we're clocking in at about 5/8 of an inch thick, which is perfect. I'm now going to cut them into our 8-inch lengths. One thing I like to do is chamfer the edges to dress them up a bit. I'm going to do that on the router table. You could definitely do it with a block plane, but if you're doing multiples and you have a router table, it's definitely worthwhile to set it up. And you could certainly skip this step. You could just break the edges with sandpaper, round it over a bit, whatever you want. Time to drill the back of the piece to accommodate the magnets. The large magnet is 1.5 inches in diameter by 3/8 of an inch thick. That's the one that's going to catch the bottle caps as they fall. The two smaller magnets up top, 3/4 of an inch by 1/8 of an inch, those are to help secure it to your fridge or your grill or whatever. When we drill for the magnets, we're going to have them sit just below flush so they don't scratch up anything. And if you're doing multiples, set up a stop block, that way you can knock them out one right after the other. We're going to glue in the magnets now. This is where we have to be really careful. These 1.5 inch magnets, when I say they're strong, I'm not kidding. If you have two of them come together and it pinches your skin, it's going to hurt like hell. Good luck trying to separate them if they come together. Use your common sense. Be careful with them. We're going to use epoxy. It's really the only adhesive we could use for this project because of the dissimilar materials, metal and wood. All right, let's get started. Now, once the epoxy is cured, an optional step, which I think is a really good idea, put your brand on the back. That way, every time someone picks it up, your name is right there. Get that free advertising. Give it a light sanding. 180 is plenty good. Quick coat of your favorite finish. Attach the bottle opener, and you're done. Between Etsy and craft shows, I've probably sold a couple of hundred of these things. I've probably given away about 30 or 40 as well. It's a great gift idea. It's fun and easy to make. Everyone who gets one, they get a big kick out of it. The next time someone invites you over for a barbecue, bring one of these in a 6-pack, and you'll be good. If you have any comments or questions, please put them below. I will be glad to answer each and every one of them. I'll put the details for the magnets in the notes below. That way you know exactly the ones I used. All right, thank you so much. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe. It helps get the video in front of more eyeballs. Thanks again, and take care.